it's that kind of football day. It's that day for the New York Football Giants to bring in that venerable quarterback, that man who is going to be that stalwart player, John Facenda. What's a Lombardi? Certain magic still lingers on the name. Outdoors in the ice and the snow. Who could that quarterback be? We've waited. You've hoped. I've hurried. You've tried and I've planned. We can do what's necessary because a miracle needs a hand. That, of course, quarterback is going to be the venerable Jameis Winston. Oh, you want to look at stuff and just be happy for the Giants. You want to be happy for Giant fans. I consider myself a Giant fan still. Not a season ticket holder, but I consider myself a Giant fan still. You want to be happy for us. And you want to be happy for the right reasons. One of the right reasons is that you are building a team, you're building a direction, you are building an organization that we have been waiting for since 2011 to turn the corner and be back to some type of prominence. You've had, what's up, Big Greg? You've had 14 seasons and 2 playoff appearances and 1 playoff win. And I love it because people on Twitter are like, you're so negative. You're so negative. Why are you even a Giant fan? You're so negative. Okay, what have we done so well in 14 years that would accentuate the positive? You've had 2 playoff appearances and 1 playoff win in 14 years. You went from 9-7-1 to 6-11 to a 3-win team to 3-14. You are now in year 4 of the Joe Schoen regime. And honestly, if you take a look at it, have we gotten much better? Have we gotten observably better? And we're going to get into Jameis. We're going to get into Jameis Winston because I made I sent a text message. I sent a text in reference to this quarterback. And I sent a text to someone that's still in Tampa. And literally, he sent me a book. He sent me what I like to refer to now as the Book of Winston. And there was things in this book. And it is a book. It is if I take a look at it right now, hold on, let me pull it up here. I got it on my phone, I got it on my screen. He sent me, I would say Jesus. He sent me some things that are interesting. He sent me some things that are disturbing. He sent me some things that I did not even know about. I'm gonna give you a little precursor to the Book of Winston. The Book of Winston. Here we go. One of the things I forgot all about, which you reminded me, the 2016 Uber incident in Tampa, where he was allegations were, I should say, filed against him with sexual misconduct for groping an Uber driver. He was suspended in 3 games by the NFL in 18 for allegedly groping the Uber driver. He issued a statement, which I forgot all about this. He issued a statement in Tampa apologizing, but he didn't admit that he did it. And then, of course, they settled the lawsuit outside of the prime. These eyes are smiling. These eyes have seen a lot of love. They got rid of the lawsuit. That lawsuit all of a sudden just kind of disappeared. She's like the wind kind of blew away. So I forgot the fact that he got suspended for 3 games in 18 for sexual misconduct. Do we want another Winston highlight? Do we want another Book of Winston? This is someone that actually, and this was reported, this was someone that told me this, who was actually in the Tampa locker room when this happened. 2017. It was before the Saints game. People said that Jameis gave what they would refer to as a bizarre speech, where he repeatedly, I love it because I'm reading the text message here. He repeatedly tried to hype up his team by pretending to eat a W with his fingers. This was in 17 in Tampa. That he tried to pretend to eat a W with his fingers, and evidently it led to so much of the team being fucking confused. They didn't know what the hell was going on, and then the Bucs got blown out 30-10. Should we continue? Hold on here. I gotta type. Someone's actually the person that sent me all this is actually typing to me. I'm trying to see who wants to come on, Winston. I'm trying to see if he wants to come on here. I don't think he's gonna want to come on, but we're gonna see if he wants to come on. Okay. I wasn't gonna get into it this early, but let's continue with the Book of Winston. Let's continue with some other interesting head scratching things, also known as Jameis Winston. Same people in Tampa told me that you thought that the OBJ behavior was weird in reference to marrying the net and doing all that fun stuff. Well, evidently, people like to talk about his time, and people like to talk about Winston's time, his time with the New Orleans Saints. Was it Benny Flower came out and said he was a great guy, he was a great teammate? Yeah, the one year that him and Benny were there was the year that Drew Brees was there, and Winston barely played, except outside of injury. But evidently, there was an issue on the New Orleans Saints sidelines where they call Jameis childish at best. He was licking his fingers and rubbing his teammates' heads, which basically led to certain players on the team to say, please don't do that anymore. Yes, New Orleans sidelines, he is licking his fingers and rubbing the heads of teammates. Should we continue with the Book of Winston? Should we continue? Because there's more. I forgot about this too. Before entering the NFL draft, there was the crab leg incident where he's stealing crab legs from a grocery store right before the draft. And then, do we want to continue? Should we continue once again with the Book of Winston? Does anyone remember the sexual assault accusation in college? He was never criminally charged, but the university settled a humongous lawsuit. So for this guy that everyone's talking about is this fun-loving guy that everybody, oh yeah, he's just having a good old time. Yeah, everyone just loves Jim. I've said this before, and I've said it a million times before. I've talked to people that have told me he wears out his welcome everywhere he goes. Could it possibly be the 30+ interceptions? Could it possibly be the fact that he is inconsistent as oh hell? Could it potentially be that people also forget he fumbles a lot. He also fumbles. So this is an immature guy who has been charged, has been accused of sexual assault twice and theft, and has been accused by former teammates of being kind of childish and weird, is not known for being a guy that is a film study guy. And he's even admitted it going back to Florida State. He doesn't really watch a lot of film. Has been inconsistent at best. And we also don't want to talk about that he's had major knee and foot issues. Holds on to the ball too long. I love this because this also comes from a guy that used to work in Tampa. Regression and processing speed. He said this when he came to Tampa, he showed promise, but he didn't develop as a quick processor. You can easily disguise coverages against him, and he locks on the receivers, allowing defenders to read his throws. I also love this, with this again coming from a guy from Tampa. Poor pocket awareness. Doesn't consistently sense pressure. Takes unnecessary sacks. Footwork dissolves under pressure. Oh my God. I mean, and does anybody also remember that he, after replacing Drew Brees in 2021, he got injured and tore his ACL, and then he lost his starting job to Andy Dalton in 2022. Does anyone remember back in 2019, after Jameis Winston left Tampa, he only went to the Saints for $1 million. You are a 5-year NFL starter on a championship caliber team. You leave your team, let you go because Bruce Arians understood he had a 7-9 team that was a playoff caliber team, but the quarterback was holding them back. They go out and get Tom Brady. They win a Super Bowl. You leave in your big free agent, your big second contract year, and you get $1 million to go over to the Saints. Are there no red flags? And I love it because this is another thing. This is another line from a guy from Tampa. Rarely comes up clutch. I didn't know this either. This is all great stuff. His last game in Tampa in overtime ended with him throwing a pick six. I mean, it's this shit. I mean, this shit's like. I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't funny. If it wasn't funny. I mean, literally, like I said, this guy literally wrote me. This guy literally wrote me a fucking book. I mean, he literally wrote me a fucking book about Jameis Winston. He wrote me a book of all the things wrong with Jameis. Let's for fun. And I'm going to get to everyone in the chat. Let's just continue with somebody. He sent me 22 separate points on Jameis Winston. High turnover ratio, which we went over. The Uber incident that he was charged with sexual misconduct against an Uber driver in 2016. Settled the suit in 2018. Was suspended. What people forget was suspended for 3 games for this incident by the NFL. Never admitted guilt, but apologized. But then turned around and settled the lawsuit. We also forget, like I said, the sexual misconduct suit that happened before the NFL at Florida State. Never charged criminally, but the university gave the accuser a large amount of money. We talked about the 2017 W game, which was against Tampa. And like I said, people don't want to talk about this, but Winston, who's supposed to be this fun locker room guy, evidently delivered one of the most bizarre, embarrassing speeches in NFL history. This is by certain people in the locker room from Tampa. Tried to hype up his teammates by pretending to eat W's with his fingers, basically leaving the team confused. And then Tampa went out, got blown out 30-10. Lost the starting job in 2022 to Andy Dalton after Andy Dalton left. Took only $1 million after his big first 5 years in Tampa to go to the Saints. There was the theft of the crab leg incident. We talked about this a moment ago. People say if you think OBJ was a distraction on the sideline, with New Orleans, they've talked about multiple awkward incidents of him just being childish. And of course, like I said, the one before, which I forgot all about, he licked his fingers and rubbed his teammates' heads, which left his teammates fucking befuddled and confused. This is a guy, like I said, his last game in Tampa doesn't come up like 7-up on the big games. Last game in Tampa, throws a pick six in overtime. This is your generational talent. And like I said, and let's just quickly go over the things that are wrong with Jameis Winston on the football field. I love it because this is the guy who sent me all this. He spent 5 years with Jameis in Tampa. Forces throws in tight coverage instead of taking a safer option. Fumbling issues. Inconsistently making decisions. Takes unnecessary risks. His pre-snap reads aren't sharp, leading to misjudgment in coverage. Holds on to the damn ball way too long. No to poor pocket awareness. Who's this sounding like? Accuracy problems, even though he's got the big arm. Ball placement is what they refer to as inconsistent at best. Struggles with anticipation throws. I was like, oh, that's a good one. And I love this one because we talked about this one before. We talked about this one with Will Howard. With Jameis Winston's issues in reference to his mechanics. Often overthrows wide receivers, leading to missed opportunities, turnovers, and injuries. We also talk about the regression in his processing. You could easily confuse him, and he locks on the wide receivers. We talk about the fact that he has had foot and knee injuries, that he has had no consistent growth since entering the league in 2015, was it? Or since entering the league. But don't worry, we're going to go out and get Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward or somebody else. And this guy's our mentor. This is the guy that you want hanging around your third round franchise pick and mentoring him. I saw that with and I saw it because you gotta love, because you know it came from
stupid giant Twitter post.
Oh, that comes from Carl Banks, and Carl Banks says, you know what, he's gonna come in and he's this good guy, and he's gonna come in and he's gonna mentor the young quarterback. This is the guy you want mentoring your quarterback. This is the guy. What makes you think that you have a quarterback room of Tommy DeVito right now and Jameis Winston, and potentially a guy that's going to come in here and be your franchise quarterback? What if it's not Shedeur Sanders? What if it's Jackson Dart? I said that for James Williams. But what if it's Jackson Dart? You want him learning from Jameis Winston? I mean, is this where we are? You know what? I found some film. I found some audio of there was what's his name? Taysom Hill or whatever his name is, a quarterback over in the quarterback over in New Orleans, who was there with Jameis Winston along with Andy Dalton. I've actually found some footage, or I found some audio of the three of them in the quarterback room. I just found this. This was on the internet.
I don't know what the fuck you just said, little kid, but you special, man. You reached out and you touched it by the heart.
That's what we're gonna get. Literally, that's what we are going to get. But don't worry, it's gonna be fun.
IQs just dropped sharply while I was away.
It might have, Ripley. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for like a week. And then when the interceptions pile up, when the fumbles pile up, when the sacks pile up, and you are, let's just say for sake of all sakes, the New York Giants are in games because of their defense, and Jameis Winston throws the inevitable pick six. We talked about it before. His last season in Tampa, 19. Tampa finished this year 7-9. Could have been 8-8. Could have potential chance to make the playoffs. They get into overtime against the Saints, and how does Jameis Winston end his I should say Tampa Bay Buccaneer career? He throws an interception, return for a touchdown. But don't worry, at 31, evidently he hasn't learned anything. I love it because he even says in the same. I gotta pull this back up again. Even says in the same thing with he titled it "Lack of Consistent Growth." Makes the same mistakes in 15 that he makes the same mistakes now in 2023 that he made in 2015. So you got to say this: Jameis Winston is consistent. He's consistent in making the exact same mistakes. But literally, this is your franchise quarterback. This is the guy. This is the dude. We'll read the list once again a little bit later on the show because more people are tuning in now. But we will read. We will read more of this. Oh, I got a big old from Trenton. What's up, Trenton? Super chat for $1.99 says, that's a $1.99 super chat. Get your $1.99 super chat now. Tim, Winston equals 3 wins. Yeah. Yeah. He does equal 3 wins. 100%. And I love it because the Debo people are saying are one of the best free agent signings, which I don't disagree with. If Debo is healthy, he'll probably be a good free agent signing. But the problem is this: he doesn't fit in the Shane Bowen defensive backfield system. He doesn't, unless we're going to bring in Jim Schwartz again, like they did for 2 years with the Titans. He doesn't fit. Deontay Banks doesn't fit. Bobby Okereke doesn't fit. You went out and you got a guy who literally told you what he needed in Hard Knocks. and you didn't get him anything. You didn't get him anything he asked for. It's like when your wife tells you to go to the grocery store and tells you, okay, honey, I'm going to bake. So I'm going to need eggs. I'm going to need some flour. I'm going to need some vanilla extract. And you come home with peanut butter and frozen French toast. Well, shit, I didn't get anything she wanted. Big James says, wait, this time we signed a guy that was sitting there for a month. I feel bad for Wilson. I don't want him to go home to Sierra. I think if anything, Russell Wilson dodged a bullet. Would you want to come and end your career with the Giants? Do you want to Joe Namath your career like he did with the Rams? Do you want to be this guy that's sitting on a bad 3-win team? Because we'll talk. Hey, did you see we signed Zach Pasquale? Oh, great. We signed another backup player to back up our backup players. You take the look of the Giants starting lineup. What? We said it before. What? Maybe there's 5 guys that could be on a top 10 team as starters. At a 22, maybe there's 5. And we signed a lot of backup. We signed all these backup players day 1 that were probably day 3 and 4 guys that you would sign in day 3 or 4. We signed them at day 1. Because we were afraid we were going to lose depth from the pieces that are already our depth pieces. James says, hit that like button soon as you walk in. Big Greg, what's up, Big T? What's up, gang? Joe Rev in the his house saying Shane should go before the draft. I think we should. Jake Sports Car said, I hope you like 50-50 quarterback, 35 interceptions. I worry. And if you go back and watch a lot of Jameis Winston's games, I worry that he is going to break out of the pocket, have his normal terrible footwork, throw the ball, hide to Malik Neighbors, and Malik Neighbors is going to get laid out. When we signed Darren Waller, we traded for Darren Waller, I kept telling people this. I laugh because it only took week 1. Not even week 1. It took 1 series in the preseason game. I kept telling people Darren Waller is probably not going to be happy here after the first time Daniel Jones throws him in the contact. And we've talked about it before. He's running a crossing pattern against that wonderful, then it was still wonderful now, wonderful Carolina Panther defense in the preseason game, the 1 series that the Giants starters played in that year. And Daniel Jones almost got Darren Waller decapitated. And after that day, it was almost like Darren Waller gave up. Because I would have given up too, because I'm like, if you're going to throw me into contact and get me fucking killed, and I'm 30-something years old, and I'm at the end of my career, I'm 2 years removed from a good season, I'm already having hamstring issues, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be done too. What's up, Big Bun? Big Greg says, evidently I get it. Oh, thank you. See? Now all I'm missing is the umbrella. Just like vacation. I like being on vacation. Yes, you're a real man. You can drink out of a straw. Let's see here. Big Greg says, I'm a big Florida State fan, but Jameis will have us cheering 1 minute, flying planes over MetLife the next. A cheap signing for sure. Just make sure you got some whiskey handy when he takes the field. I laugh about that because you're right. Greg's a big Florida State fan. I forgot about that. I keep forgetting about that, Greg. Maybe I'm forgetting about it for you after last season. But this is also a guy, people are like, well, he's not coming in here to be a starter. He's only on a 2-year, $8 million deal. No, he's on a 2-year, $8 million deal, which can be 2 years, $16 million with incentives. Some genius Giant fans are saying that he's basically Eli Manning. This fan base is incredibly dumb. I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing about Eli Manning. Eli Manning only has multiple Super Bowl rings, was placed on horrid Giant teams, and everyone references Eli Manning's 2013 season where he had 18 touchdowns and 27 interceptions. That's the game everyone always references. Because he's like, well, everyone's like, well, that's a Jameis Winston game. Yes, okay, that's the Jameis Winston game. I always hear that. That's the Jameis Winston game. I always go back to, if you forget, that Thursday night game in in Chicago on October 10th, where Eli Manning, I believe, threw 3 interceptions in the first half. That game, he did. He threw 3 interceptions the first half of that game, and the best part was, all 3 interceptions in the first half came to Ruben Randall. And Ruben Randall ran the wrong route 3 times, and they were anticipation throws. And Ruben Randall went the wrong way 3 times and led to 3 first half interceptions. And there were so many times like that year with Ruben Randall, it was disgusting. And that was the first year I had ever seen Eli Manning chastise a wide receiver on the sidelines, because you ran the route, the wrong way 3 times. But everyone blames Eli Manning for those interceptions. Jameis Winston is even Eli Manning is Captain Clutch. He should have a cape. We should. When there was under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Giants were down by 4, and you needed a 6, Eli got it for you. Jameis Winston, we talked about it before. In overtime, his last game in Tampa, potentially they go 8-8 and make the playoffs. What does Jameis do in overtime? Throws a pick 6. And everyone talks about Eli Manning's 500 record. Well, Eli's only got a 500 record, so he's just like Jameis Winston. He only got a 500. Jameis Winston is 36-51-0. 36 wins and 51 losses. Jameis Winston, his last couple of years in Tampa, had a playoff caliber team. He was what held them back. James says, in all fairness, we've had some content creators running laps in order to inspire wins. I'll never forget that day. I will never forget the Fan Fest. And someone sent me, I didn't go, and someone sent me a video, Fan Fest, and there are people running in the parking lot. And they didn't tell me what it was. And I was like, and then I texted him back. And I said, okay, what's this? He goes, it's fans running laps to show their solidarity for the Giants and Joe Judge. And I believe I said the next day on the stream, that was the stupidest fucking thing I ever saw, because probably I would say 75% of those people never play football, because running laps is a punishment. So you are basically punishing yourself for going to pro day. Hit that like button, says Big James. Big Greg says, James, Strong Island in the house. Wester Sanders, good morning. Good morning, all. Hit that like button. It's free. It is. Maybe J Sports Card says, maybe he grows up and we'll all have a post where we did stupid things. Mm-hmm. So, and I love you, J Sports Card, but we talked about this. 2017. He's eating his fingers like W's, leaving his team befuddled. 2016, he gropes an Uber driver. There was the incident in New Orleans just recently where he is licking his fingers and rubbing the heads of teammates. What is he going to grow up? There's a video of him walking down the street trying to get people to high five him. And some people are like, who the fuck are you? He hasn't grown up. He's 31 years old. He's a big kid. He's a 31-year-old starting quarterback that came here for $8 million over 2. When he left Tampa after his big 5-year stint in Tampa, he took $1 million to go to the Saints. That's because nobody wants you. But the Giants do. All this fan base does is complain about everything. New York fans cannot be satisfied about anything. Crowd favorite media. You seem like a fucking moron. I'm going to help you. What have the Giants done in the last 14 years for fans not to complain? 2 playoff appearances, 1 playoff win in 14 years. That's good. Misses on multiple draft picks, errors in free agencies, cap issues, allowing homegrown talent to walk for nothing. I don't know what you're a crowd favorite of. Maybe being stupid. That's a possibility. Big James is Big Greg. We got ourselves a quarterback. To be honest, Greg says, we are happy with any of these quarterbacks. No, you know what's funny? You could have got Justin Fields. I wouldn't have said anything. Hell, you could have got someone like a Marcus Mariota as a bridge. Wouldn't have said anything. You could brought in Russell Wilson. I would have complained that you probably overpaid for an aging quarterback because you're trying to nail some wins to save your job, but it's a better option than Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is fun to a point. OBJ, who was still productive, was considered to be a sideline nuisance, but he wasn't licking his fingers and rubbing the heads of teammates on the sideline. He wasn't sticking his fingers in his mouth, eating W's in a locker room speech that was referred to in Tampa as bizarre. He didn't assault an Uber driver. Didn't steal crab legs. Didn't get accused of sexual assault in college. He was just boisterous, and the Giants didn't like it. Mara didn't like it because they brought in a rookie quarterback who they already knew may have issues with a big personality in the locker room at the wide receiver position. Mr. Taz says, we still have a shot at getting the Giants. Wentz wagon. Carson Wentz still is available. I mean, he's going to be the backup. He's better than cheap than the opposite Drew Lock, so I'll take it. Who's your starter? If the draft falls like it's going to fall, which is going to be Ward and then Sanders, you're going to take Jackson Dart at 3? You're going to grab like a Kyle McCord or someone later in the draft and hope he's the starter? Right now, Jameis Winston is your starter. The moment we were sitting here, Jameis Winston is your starter. Dennis says, wow, did you see that pick I threw? That is him. Sanders says, all of this, and he's still an upgrade over Jones. That's how bad Daniel Jones was. Oh, damn, I forgot about the crab legs. Crowd favorite.
You need people like think you gonna get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Say goodbye to crab favorite. Say goodbye to whatever's media favorite. Goodbye. Leave my Florida State alone. The Giants have sunk to an all-time low. But don't worry. Don't worry, man. The Giants may have sunk to an all-time low. But it's going to be fun. We're going to do this one last time for the people that just shown up. I had someone in Tampa who worked with Jameis Winston and it's actually still in Tampa, send me the major issues with Jameis Winston and some of the other problems we don't know about. Number one issue he told me, of course, was the turnovers. 30 interceptions in 19. Forces the ball in the tight coverage instead of taking the easy play, and has fumbling issue. He's more than inconsistent with his decision-making, takes unnecessary risks. His pre-snap reads have not improved or not, I love this word, he goes, aren't always sharp, leading to misjudgments, holds on the ball too long, has no pocket presence or awareness, doesn't consistently sense pressure, footwork under duress is god-awful. He literally wrote god-awful. Has accuracy problems, doesn't throw with anticipations, will overthrow wide receivers because of a lack of consistency in his throwing motion, has regressed since he has seen him in 2015 in reference to processing. You can easily disguise coverages against him. He's got durability issues with a foot and knee problems. Has shown no growth since coming into the league. And then I asked him a couple things, some other things he told me. He said, no, people forget about these things. 2016, the Uber incident where he is accused of groping an Uber driver. which he was suspended for 3 games in 18. Apologized, but didn't admit he was wrong, but then he settled the lawsuit. There was the big sexual misconduct allegations over in college at Florida State. Never charged criminally, but the university paid a handsome sum to the accuser. There was like I said, this was interesting. I didn't remember this. I didn't even know about this. This came from the locker room. There was he referred to it as the bizarre, one of the most bizarre pregame speeches he had ever seen. Repeatedly tried to hype his teammates by pretending to eat W's with his fingers. His own words, left the team confused, got blown out by the Saints 30-10. Lost his job in New Orleans to Andy Dalton. The crab leg incident. Mentions that he has multiple childish and awkward moments on the sidelines. There was the one in New Orleans where he was licking his fingers and rubbing teammates' heads, leading to some of the weirdest reactions and people basically telling him to stop. That's your quarterback. Is it too late to get Reno Hightower? Is it too late? Oh. The Giants have an interest in Patrick Mahomes for a veteran minimum contract per Chat Sports. What's up, Big Jeff? At least Winston will probably throw more yards in one game than Daniel Jones managed his entire career. Okay. Yards per completion his last 3 games in Cleveland was 5.7. Those are Daniel Jones numbers. Oh, my God. Let's see here. These eyes. To protect. What's up? To protect my brother. I will take him. You said, yeah, you sold me on him, Tim. He's got to be better than Jones. Said this before. Sometimes garbage is not better than trash. But don't worry, according to Carl Banks. According to Carl Banks, we are going to, he is going to be this locker room asset.
Yeah, he's gonna be a locker room asset, man.
Thank you, Carl Jr. We haven't seen you in a while. Greg says, Jameis, I know you're not a savior, but for backup money, he's better than any quarterback we've had on the roster last year. That's not saying much. But don't worry. One of the quarterbacks we had on the roster last year is still here. So we're all good. If Wilson goes to the Browns, do they draft a quarterback? Yes. Russ, if they are truly in love with Shedeur Sanders, Russell, we all know Deshaun Watson. You know what? Jameis Winston, Deshaun Watson is a young Jameis Winston. Oh my God. Can you, let's see, another 90 for 2 years, a waste of money. What's up, Big Davey? Tim, hi. This is my happy birthday, Davey. Happy birthday to Davey. Happy birthday to Davey. Happy birthday to Davey. I was let down by St. John's and the Giants. Hope the Knicks make me happy. Well, the Knicks won yesterday. Blew out to Washington Wizards, but happy birthday, Davey. Hey, James says, hey, at least Winston can actually throw a deep ball that wide receivers don't have to stop and wait for. The only problem is his inconsistency with his throwing motion and footwork leads him to throwing the balls high, which means you are going to expose Malik Neighbors to contact. Oh boy. Can we I think I'm just going to go now and hit Malik Neighbors in the knee with a hammer. Just get it over with. Get it over with. Drive killer, but thankful. Not a killer drive. Not a killer driver. That's my prayers. Happy birthday, Davey. James Stein also says, well, that's the Giants got a quarterback who is a bit better than Jones. So if he threw just as many interceptions as many touchdowns, this quarterback was a cheap option. Here's the problem, James. Here's the problem. Daniel Jones throws tons less interceptions now than Jameis Winston. Probably like 4-1. The biggest issues we had with the biggest issues that we had with Daniel Jones was inconsistency. Now imagine you have a guy that's got a cannon for an arm, but he throws 30 interceptions. It's almost 2 a game. It's going to be fucking nuts. Nacho's not on the team anymore. Or is Nacho still on the team? Oh, Nacho's not going to be on the team. Eli threw 27 interceptions, actually. 27 interceptions that year. And like I said, 3 of them all should be attributed to Ruben Randall. And that was October 10th against the Bears when Ruben Randall ran the wrong route 3 separate times on timing patterns. Oh, Mr. Sanders, you should know if you're gonna come with giant history, you better come strong on this channel. You gotta come up like 7-Up, man. Winston is like the king of the almost sack in terms of the quarterback. You know, we are gonna have to come up with Jameis Winston soundbite. After his first 3-pick game, which will probably be week 1, we're gonna have to come up with something. Eli threw a lot of picks. He also threw a ton of TDs. That got him into the top 15. And also, if you look at the people that are ahead of Eli Manning I think Eli Manning's like 27th on the all-time list. If you look at the people that are ahead of Eli Manning, the majority of them are in the Hall of Fame. We don't want to talk about that. Jameis is gonna be screaming at Hyatt. Oh my God. There's going to be a certain segment of Giant fans are going to have fun through training camp with Jameis Winston. Really, that's nothing. Hey, hit the like button, guys. There's going to be a certain segment of Giant fans who are just going to have fun with Jameis Winston. It's going to be fun. They're going to have a good time through training camp, leading up to everything, and then opening Sunday is going to roll around, and it's just going to fucking all go downhill from there. But Jay Sports Cars says, I need another pass rusher. Tired of the Ghost Brothers. Don't worry. If people want, now that we have Jameis Winston, I literally saw people say we should go out and get Abdul Carter. Literally saw people say we should go out and get Abdul Carter. I was like, you have 2 guys on the roster that are almost identical to him as a player, and you want to go out and get a third? Or we're going to get Mason Graham. Because the issue is not the interior of our defense, but we need someone to pair alongside with. You don't want to just go out and get a guy that is going to do it like the Dalvin Tomlinson dirty work. No, you don't want to do that. That'd be fucking crazy. You want to go out and get a high profile guy because you think that's going to increase the pass rush on your line when you're not 100% sure yet if Holland is going to rebound to have a better season than he did in 2024, and if Adebo is going to come back to be full strength, and if Tay Banks can figure out how to play in the Shane Bowen system. What's up off Broadway? Davey says, Jameis is saying, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. My name is Jameis Winston. I'm throwing interceptions. No, it didn't rhyme, but I'm tired. Nothing for what, Xavier? Let's see here. You and me got mimosas. James and I sitting, like I said, James and I were that crew, man. We were so excited for opening day. We've shown the picture before. There's the 2 of us in the suite, getting ready, in the beautiful suite, looking at it opening day. Gorgeous day, 76 degrees, sunshine. Hour before the game against the Vikings. So happy. So full of glee and joy. And then I've talked about it with James a million times, and then they kicked the fucking ball off. And then everything just went downhill from there. Don't rip me apart. Okay, I have to now. But do we put together a Godfather's offer the Titans to get Cam? Starting to feel like that might be the direction we're headed. I don't know. I mean, I would do it. I would do it. Why not? If Cam Ward's your guy, Ernie Accorsi's told the story a million times when he was the young GM in Baltimore and management didn't let him draft John Elway because John Elway said he was going to play with the Yankees instead of playing for the Colts. And they didn't force Accorsi to make that trade. They made the trade for Accorsi. And then when Accorsi came here and had the shot to get Eli Manning, he says you move heaven and earth to get your franchise quarterback, and he won 2 Super Bowls. So everyone thought the money that we gave up, the assets that we gave up to get Eli Manning, people forget, we swapped Eli for Rivers, gave up the next year's first round pick, a 2 and a 5 and something else. They got Sean Lights Out Merriman for a little while. Yeah. I'm so happy to be playing in the snow, Tim. Is it snowing? What's the big flash says what? Man, these guys getting fired. That's the bottom line. Oh, God. I can't remember who sent me the thing. They're like, we have a pool going to see if it's going to be Thanksgiving or Christmas that they get fired. I still say Thanksgiving. Do you trade Tua? The guy can't play in the cold weather, and he's one hit away from his brain being scrambled eggs. We should go out and get him. Why not? That's a giant way. Big Greg says, hey, if we lose with Winston, Merrick can at least give fans a half dozen crab eggs. No, you can't, because Jameis will steal most of them. I only support Winston signing if it's part of a plan to tank for... We can't tank for Archie because we don't even know what Archie is yet. Right now, Archie Manning is Chris Sims, who couldn't beat out Major Applewhite. Groping an Uber driver and harassing some massage therapists. What's wrong with athletes? But don't worry, this is the fun guy we're good. Hey, you come out, hang out with me. I'm charged with sexual assault, stealing, and groping Uber drivers. Yeah, I'm fun. Oh, fucking dear Lord. Abe Johnny says, hey, Tim, I can't watch the Giants channels anymore. It's because they're obviously clear who's bought and paid for by the Giants and Shane. Thanks for keeping it real. Because I don't give a fuck. I reached in my pocket and I found 0 fucks. Life's too short. And we talked about it before. They do it for the likes, the clicks, the bleeps, and the boops. That's what they do it for. They do it for the money. They do it to supplement their income. That's why they do it. And the easiest way to be popular on YouTube is to have a positive take on everything. Don't tell the truth. God. I love it because someone said to me, why do you think you're always right? Well, I'm not always right. But for the last 5 years, what have I gotten wrong? I mean, when I tell everyone the Giants are going to suck, what have I gotten wrong? It's insanity at its finest. And I love it because Svi, I'm not going to give him stupid Twitter posts. He goes, he says, of course you're not happy. You're going to try and paint this as negative, right, Tim? You draft a kid, go with Winston, it's fine. It's the correct direction. But we haven't drafted a kid. We're not even in a position to draft a kid. And I literally wrote back, you want Winston, who's not a film guy since FSU, to make the same mistakes at 31 that he did at 21 to mentor your young quarterback. And I said, don't hate me because deep down you know I'm right. And that's what I tell people all the time. You can hate me all you want. You could tell me I'm negative. You could tell me I'm this. But deep down, the reason why you hate me and so many people disagree with me, so many people hate me, is because you fucking know I'm right. But you would rather go to Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy, Oz, do a shot of Fireball, give someone $4.99 as a super chat to tell you everything's going to be all right. I'm not your fucking therapist. I'm not. So we keep it honest here. Sorry. I'm trying to get my Rocky speech.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I lost my Rocky speech, but my world ain't all sunshine and roses. Because it's not. And I don't know where my Rocky speech. Where'd my Rocky speech go?
King.
I had to do that to get back to that. Let's see. Turn the box, plethora, LA crack, almost catch, test. What's test? Oh, I don't know what this was. This is something I evidently was working on. But the world isn't all sunshine and roses. I'm sorry. And if you want me to be that way, I will be that way. Jameis Winston is the greatest signing since Tom Brady went to Tampa and since Peyton Manning went to Denver. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes. Greatest signing ever. Yes. That's the crowd after Jameis Winston throws a pick. Hey, Big Tim, why don't we sign Russell Wilson? I don't know if I was Russell Wilson. I wouldn't want to come here. Don't forget the BB gun. Oh, I forgot about the BB gun incident in Florida State. Well, this wasn't my list, so I can't take credit for it. Let's see here. Oh, Big L Gigante says, hey, Tim, hey, folks, look like the bright side. The move guarantees cleans house, and it's bye, bye, bye. I just don't I just don't know anymore. I don't. Big Davey says, in New York, I never doubt you get to decide to group an Uber driver. Jameis Winston is the king of the almost pick six. Jameis, what do we also got here? Jameis is the only quarterback that threw a pick six, hyped of the defense, and came back and dropped a 50-yard dime like nothing happened. Man is Madden as a rookie, all out Madden at the same time. My bad, Timmy threw 25 in 2000. No, it's not bad. It's still bad. You know, I just busting your chops. I always say it over and over again. And the reason why this channel is here.
You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Well, James says, to my earlier comment, I'm being a bit sarcastic, but reality is Joe Shane and Brian Daboll shouldn't even be here, but Mara is just too stupid to have been fired last season. More annoying than us signing Winston is our delusional fan base justifying signing him and not realizing how much of a joke we have become. A lot are stuck in 2011. Oh, I found it. You know what?
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and
Kareem!
keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
And that's what we're going to have to do. Oh my God, I haven't heard Major Applewhite in forever. I only bring that up because Chris Sims, when he came out of high school out of New Jersey, was the highest touted, highest ranked, highest rated quarterback coming out. And he went through all these teams. And at one point he was going to Tennessee, and he ended up in Texas. And he couldn't beat out Major Applewhite. And he had an okay career, but with Zen taken in the second round by Tampa. People forget about these little things. Joe Shane is thinking, if I only had a brain. Winston in Hunt's points going crazy. Well, at least the defense will be respectable. Thank goodness I live in Minneapolis. I can respectfully support the Vikings. Yeah, Darnold crashed out, but we fixed the O-line and the D-line free agents. Even with J.J. McCarthy, listen, you got Minnesota's got an offense. Minnesota's got a running game. Minnesota's got wide receivers. Minnesota's got an offensive line now. They fixed their issues. J.J. McCarthy doesn't have to put up as big as numbers as Sam Darnold did, but J.J. McCarthy just needs to be more consistent and more error-free with the football. And the Vikings are going to be just fine. The Vikings are going to be back in the playoffs. Let's see here, Tim. What's up here? Yeah, this Rocky speech, you will lose. Let's see. This channel sucks. Anyone who listens to this, hey Kenneth, fuck off. How about that? Knock, knock, not here. Not Kenneth.
Nothing.
Not Kenneth, because he's what we refer to as a fucking moron. James says this channel sucks, and hit the like button on your way out the door. He already went out the door. Let's see. Kenneth Coleman, best giant channel commentator, keeps the reels and stays unbiased. I love it when people can do that. Dennis says the money the Giants will pay for any sexual assault that won't count against the cap. Oh my God, that's pretty funny. Big year for Jameis Winston. I hope so. I don't see Jameis Winston surviving past week 8. If you take a look at his body of work, he holds onto the ball way too fucking long. Is inconsistent with his reads, locks onto his primary target, makes throws that you shouldn't make. James, where are you? James, where are you at? Hold on. I'm gonna open this up to James. Where are you? Where are you, James? Copy that. Copy that, Roger. Roger Wilco. And I'm gonna paste this in the link. Whoops, no, I don't want to hit copy. I want to hit paste. Where are you at, James? There you go. Where are you at, James?
Talk to me, Goose.
Oh, come on, James. If you missed it last weekend, we decided that this was the we did the top movie quotes at the end of the last half hour of the show, and we made sure that we gave everyone Top Gun call sign names. So we had Strider was Slider. We had T-Brad was Black Ice Man or Black Ice. I forgot what you were, James. I literally forgot what you were. Oh, James was Hollywood. No, you weren't Hollywood. You were James was Sundown. That's what James was. James was Sundown, and I was Viper. Of course, I had to be the old guy with spiky hair. Let's see here. Jameis will be the king of the almost comeback. And we also have here Mara. Knows what he's doing, says Giant 34. He's using Joe and Dable to get able to pick Archie Manning with the number 1 overall pick, firing them in week 5 and 6, and then tank for the rest of the season. We might as well just tank now. It's fine to tank now. It's all right. And I love this, Xavier. Xavier, you could be right on the mount. You could be right on the nose here. 3,500 yards, 38 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. I think the 25 interceptions is light. Jameis Winston at 30-something years, 31 years old, going to be 32 years old, is probably going to throw 30-something interceptions. Like I said, his big year in 19 in Tampa was 5,109 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 30 interceptions. Does anyone realize, and I was thinking about this, Jameis Winston's been in the league since 15, so it's now 14. It's now 2024. As a full-time starter, how many winning seasons has Jameis Winston had? It's easy. As a full-time starter. 1. His sophomore year. And I find it interesting that if you watch his career in Tampa, the year they really put the onus on Jameis Winston, which was his 5th year, which is they picked up his 5th-year options. They allow him to throw the ball 626 times. He only completed 60% of his passes, 1,509, but then he goes out and throws 30 interceptions. That was the season they brought it. They had Bruce Arian, and Bruce Arian knew that he had a championship team in Tampa. He knew it. Bruce Arians kind of said he knew it. And that's why they didn't re-sign Jameis Winston, even though he threw for a franchise record 5,000 yards and a franchise record then 33 touchdowns and a franchise record then 30 interceptions. He takes only $1 million after his biggest season in the pros outside his interceptions to go to New Orleans to back up Drew Brees. 1 to Twin Powers, activate. Form of a giant winning season.
Oh, we're not going to have that.
We got to thank Big Don for dropping in 5 gifts to the online Big Blue memberships. Make sure you give Big Don a thanks. You get all your videos early. You get all the fun. You get all the insight. You get the rebroadcasts early of the live stream. So if you can't watch it on YouTube, you can listen to it in the podcast format before anyone else. And it's a big $1.99 because they wouldn't let me charge nothing. That's what I love about YouTube. I wanted to charge nothing for the OG membership, just because I was curious to see who would join. And a lot of people join for $1.99, but people are like, well, why is it only $1.99? I'm like, well, because they didn't let me charge $0.
But that gives you some insight that all the other channels are definitely charging people.
Oh,
probably high. Yeah.
I charge $1.99, but I'm the asshole. You know what? I have, like my Pac-Man fever, I have Jameis Winston fever. And I am so excited about the Messiah.
The Messiah.
We're going to call him the Messiah, coming here and saving the New York Football Giants. Try it with straight face. Try the straight face, man. Come on, try it, man. Come on, try it.
Come on, man.
I double dog dare you. Try it.
I think Jameis Winston is going to come in here and he's going to be professional. I think he's going to be something we haven't seen here in 6 years. And I think that he's going to be a great mentor for whatever young quarterback we bring in, especially Jackson Dart. Can you imagine Jameis Winston teaching Jackson Dart with DeVito in the background? I just want to see that picture. That would be the best. That's our quarterback room.
I just laughed because I didn't know. And like I said, I reached out to the list that we read earlier on the show was actually someone that still works in Tampa, still works for the Buccaneers.
Oh, wow.
Gave me all that information. I forgot about the sexual misconduct with the Uber driver.
That's crazy.
I forgot all about that. And then how he got suspended for 3 games in 18. I forgot about that. I mean, maybe I didn't know about it because of Tampa, because I don't live in Tampa.
Groping an Uber driver is crazy. It's like, what did he do before he got out the car? He just leaped over the seat. It's like, how do you grope an Uber driver?
And then the fact, like I said, I didn't know that some of his sideline antics in New Orleans were so weird that literally, I'm gonna read again. I'm gonna read.
Yeah, go ahead. It was great.
I'm gonna read again what he wrote. This is a guy that still works at Tampa, and he sent me things that drove people crazy and still drive people crazy about Jameis Winston. Now, one of the things in Tampa, for people that are just tuning in, so we got over 200 some people now joining us. In 2017, I love this one, James, before the Saints game, he basically said that Winston gave, and I love this, one of the most bizarre pregame speeches ever, as he repeatedly tried to pretend to eat W's with his fingers, leaving everyone in the locker room confused. And then Tampa blew out the Buccaneers 30-10. Then in New Orleans, I don't know what game this is, but they referred to his sideline antics as times as immature and awkward as he went around licking his fingers and rubbing his teammates' heads, which facilitated a reaction that they told him, basically some of the leaders of the team told him to stop.
We're going to hurt you.
Then, of course, we got to remember the crab leg incident where he stole the crab legs. The sexual assault incident also in college, the Uber incident.
The BB gun thing. The BB gun.
I forgot about.
I forgot too. To whoever put that up in the chat. Word.
And I love it because then this gentleman who worked in Tampa is still there, and that he didn't want to give me his name. He told me, I know him, but he doesn't want to give him his name. He told me the issues with Jameis Winston. People always talk about the 30 interceptions, but people forget to remember the fumbling issues. His inconsistency in decision-making, takes unnecessary risks instead of taking the safer option. His pre-snap reads, I love this, aren't sharp, and that leads to misjudgment in coverage, holds on the ball too long, poor to no pocket of presence, doesn't sense pressure, leading to unnecessary sacks and fumbles. His footwork under pressure leads to off-balance throws, which leads to accuracy problems, which leads him to throw the ball high and overthrow wide receivers, struggles with anticipation throws, sometimes waits too long for the receiver to get open, has regressed in processing speed and making quick decisions, also has issues with durability with the knee and the foot, and hasn't shown any consistent growth since coming in the league in 15. But
that sounds like Daniel Jones.
But he is going to mentor. Take some of these. There's a great scene in The Office where Angela, the stuck-up person in the office, she's taking aspirin. She's like, the guy was like, "Do you have a headache?" She goes, "No, I just feel one coming on." So I'm gonna start taking Advil now.
Oh God, Tim is self-medicating early. I feel it.
I'm self-medicating now, man. Get it over with.
But for jokes, a lot of what you said, that sounded like Daniel Jones.
I know.
It's just crazy. Like we're about to have the same issues with the quarterback that we had before. Only this time, I guess this guy is going to be more entertaining with the sideline antics because I don't like I don't know
Listen,
what to say.
we thought the sideline antics with Odell Beckham, this management, not us, because I always thought I thought it was stupid, but I didn't think it was anything. We thought that burying the net, doing all the shit that he does, was weird. He didn't go around licking his fingers and rubbing teammates' heads.
And he wasn't stealing crab legs.
And he wasn't stealing crab legs and groping Uber drivers.
I have to say, just as a black person, you hear certain stories in the news, but without even turning around, you could play the game. I think Saturday Night Live at Living Color did this, where it was like you turned around and it's like, damn it, it's one of us. It's like stealing crab legs. It's like at that point, I think you have money. You have money.
You. This is right before the draft.
Like you're going to have like come on, man, come on, stealing crab legs, brother. Stealing crab legs and groping the Uber driver are crazy.
I just love it because he's matured. He just did a video of him dancing down the street, trying to get people to high five him and post it on the internet. And I don't want to break the news to people, but the New Orleans thing wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, so and also people forget that he lost his job after Drew Brees retired to the Red Rifle. He got beat out.
I thought you were gonna say the other dude.
He got beat out by Andy Dalton.
Red Rifle. I mean, I will say this without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh God,
it's going to be more. It's going to be more entertaining. Like we're turning into the Cowboys a little bit. Where, like you said, I think you said it on your other stream, where we're more about the pony show than actually winning. Winning the award. Winning the contest.
We would rather be relevant than good.
Relevant than good. Yes, thank you. And that's what I feel like. It's to wait all this time while Rodgers is on the beach, and you have Wilson come in. Poor Wilson. I mean, he's just, my God, just the sundown of the NFL.
No, your sundown. Your sundown. Strider, slider. T-Brad's black ice. Gotta remember.
You know what? It's funny. I definitely would have been sundown because if I was in the co-pilot seat, I definitely would have been. Hey man, we could have had him. What are you doing up there?
Listen, and again, I'm not trying to be racist here because you are a black man and you have this melodious voice and you have this deep voice, but then you have Sundown sitting there going, "Yeah, man, we could have had him."
Oh my God, yeah, that's right. He was a little. Hey man, we could have had him, Mav. That probably would have made him turn around like, God damn it, shut up.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Racism in the 80s. But
it was like blatant, but also subtle. Because it's like they didn't name him Raccoon.
What was subtle about him being called Sundown?
Because if you think about it, you're like, oh, sundown with the Japanese sun. You have to sit there for a second to go.
They called them Black Down? Is that what would have been racist?
Black Down. They could have called him Lights Off. Lights Out. Lights Out.
And he's the only black pilot, and they call him Sundown.
The only black pilot, and he's the co-pilot. He's the gunner. He's he was Goose. He was Black
Rio,
Goose.
whatever it's called.
Rio, yeah, the Rio.
And I'm going to say it again, he's the guy that sits in the back of the plane.
Oh, that's messed up because he did. That's messed up because he did.
He sits in the back of the plane.
He did, and he got screamed on by the white man.
The white man.
Man. Damn. So if you just
I know. I just threw a Top Gun for you.
Sitting in the back of the plane is crazy.
Like, I didn't know how racist Top Gun was until Jameis Winston came onto the Giants.
Listen, I just told my other half in another room. I was like, "Did you know the black pilot's name in Top Gun was Sundown?" And she just went, "Oh." You know how women do? Oh, I can't believe that. That is so racist. I was like, I know, but I still love the movie.
Well, did you tell her that his initial pilot's name was Sun Up?
Oh my God. Sun up, sun down.
So I'm gonna get to the chat, but we have James. All right, let's get back to Giant football.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Sorry, James and I will take this offline because I still remember James and I, like, I don't know how long ago, it was a long time ago. We literally had like an hour-long conversation about about Jaws Lego when the Jaws Lego set came out.
I'm gonna wait to start mine. I haven't started building it yet.
I haven't taken mine out of the box yet. I'm not.
Yeah, neither have I. It's like a major project.
I'm waiting for James to come over to the house because the whole idea was we were going to build the Lego set and we were going to go get a kiddie pool and reenact the movie in the backyard.
I still want to do that. We should post, like, you should do that as a thumbnail.
He still wants to do.
I still do.
I'm actually thinking of redoing the one of the scenes in Top Gun.
Oh, great!
Because I didn't know, and I got to get back to the Giants, but I found it online because I had to look it up. You can literally get the stickers for the helmets on top.
All all
the decals, and I have black motorcycle helmets with shields. So I was thinking,
we may have to do that.
I'm going to get the stickers and I'm going to put them.
I was going to say we may have to do that.
We're going to get out the camera and the green screen, and we're going to have to reenact parts of Top Gun.
We may have to do that. That would be good.
But we're going to reverse it.
Oh,
we're good.
So Sundown's going to be like, you're the DEI hired, Maverick.
Look, we're going to reverse it.
We're going to flip the script.
We're going to flip the script. And
oh my God. Oh my God. What is your name going to be? Token?
No, I'm going to be Sundown.
Oh, you're oh my God. Oh my
I'm
God.
Gonna be Sundown. You're going to be Maverick. And we're going to
we're
going to reenact the entire scene.
Oh my God.
We are going to go out into the middle of the street, and we're going to go rent an F-15. We're going to put it in the street, and because my neighbors love me, and we're going to reenact the entire scene at the end when they get off the plane.
That would. I actually really want to do that. I'm mad that you brought that up because the kid in me underneath this Pac-Man shirt is going, "That's a great idea.
That's a great idea, man. we you know what we could do? We could go viral."
Oh, we definitely would go viral.
For all, like Jameis Winston, for all the wrong reasons. Okay, where does this move? Everyone talks about Jameis Winston, 2 years, $8 million, but everyone forgets the other $8 million in incentives.
Yeah.
So you would not give someone a large amount of incentives unless they're going to play, or unless they think they're going to have.
Oh, he's definitely going to play. Yeah.
What do you think this does for Russell Wilson? We have about 17 million left in cap space. We know we need 11 for the rookie draft pool because we are picking third. The problem is people need to remember we don't need the full 11 million. We only need the guaranteed money off the cap for the first pick, the second pick, and part of the third. So it's not really 11; it's like 5.5. But still, that takes $5 million out of 17. So you got $12 million left. You still have other spots on the roster you need to fill.
Right?
Is Russell Wilson coming here?
I would like to say no. I mean, you waited all this time and you already had him in the building. You let him go. This is the second time we've done this with him. I would like to think at this point, if you knew we know what he is. So Joe Shane, Dable, they know what he is. They know what he brings. You have the film from last year. I would really pray that our brain trust is now focusing on the draft. You have Winston. You gave him his little 2 years with incentives. Fine. We waited for Rodgers over a month. That didn't work out. Okay. I would hope we're focusing on the draft. Never mind all this quarterback free agent. Whatever quarterback. I think Big Greg said this in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat supporting our brother, our cult leader, as always. But no matter who we brought here, even if we got Rodgers, right? Everybody's pipe dream. Aaron Rodgers is coming to the Giants. It was only going to be maybe for a year.
Oh, it would be for a year.
And it's some, like he's not the future. And no matter what quarterback we signed and brought here, even if you brought Stafford, right? Let's go real crazy, real poltergeist. If we brought Stafford here, right? People like, oh man, we got Stafford. We got a certified veteran. That guy, he could still sling it. He played the Eagles the best in the playoffs last year. We don't have the roster that the Rams have. So we would not have been as good as whatever people were thinking. It was going to be a losing season regardless.
All right, I have a question right off the bat, and I want you to just answer, don't think. Jameis Winston, 2 years, $8 million. He's your Giants starting quarterback win total.
A win total? I would say 5.
Okay. Matthew Stafford, you offered him 2 years, $90 million, $45 million a year win total for the Giants if he came to the Giants.
Maybe 6, 7.
Aaron Rodgers, you're probably going to give at least 2 years, $60 million. What's your win total?
Probably 6, 7.
So really, in all thought process, the $8 million, a $4 million quarterback is still going to get you 4 to 5 wins, but it's only 2 wins less than bringing in this high-profile name. The question is, why eat up any of your cap space to bring in the other 2 guys when you're only going to probably win 4 or 5 games anyways?
Because they're in this weird position of trying to save their job now, but put something in place for the future as well, just in case they're still here with jobs.
Right.
It's a weird conundrum for them to be in, and us as fans.
I'm still thinking about how racist Top Gun is.
Well, I mean, the 80s was a weird time because the 80s, it's funny. We talk so much, and 30 seconds real quick, we'll get back to that. But we talk so much about diversity and this and that. But if you watch a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s, there was women involved. There was colored even in cartoons and movies. There were colored people. We had Action Jackson. Carl
Weathers.
You had
Jericho Jackson. Come on.
But I'm just saying, you had a action movie with a black guy in the lead, and then everybody behind him was black, except for the evil white man. The bad guy. Coach.
Craig T. Nelson and
who I love.
And what's his name? Sharon Stone was in that movie.
And Coach was doing kung fu in that. He was doing kung fu.
You know what the problem is, James? There's just too much racism in this world, so I don't even know what people are going to do about the racism, because I think it's unprofessional to have racism anywhere, have anything that's ethnically wrong.
Do you think it's racist to play Mexican music during a Taco Bell commercial? Because I saw that yesterday and I didn't know how to feel, because I was like,
because
I was like, this is like reggae tone during a taco. That just feels we're trying too hard here.
Felt kind of funny.
Yeah, it did. It was a little funny.
Greg says, Jameis is going to throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. It's called balanced football. You have your quarterback room with Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito.
Oh.
Yeah, you have that right now. You're probably going to bring in another arm. I don't think they're going to bring in a Russell Wilson. I don't think they're going to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Are you taking a quarterback at 3?
If Sanders is there, yes. If the dart, you keep putting this into the universe.
I keep putting it out.
You and I are old enough to know that if you keep doing that in life, sometimes the energies and the things in life and nature will come together and manifest what you keep saying. And I have so much of my fandom in this year based off the fact that we're going to get Ward or Sanders, that if we draft Dart at 3, I think my entire sports, like everything I ever knew about sports, might explode. Like anything I ever learned from playing, from watching, I might really have a mental breakdown on if you're doing a stream, because there's no way. I mean, there is a way I could see it, because like we said, they're pressed for the future and to save their jobs. So let's say Shane, right, who's the great gatherer of information, if he's sitting there and he's going, well, Sanders is going to be there at 3, so we're just going to take Sanders. That's what I'm hearing. Sanders is going to be there at 3. And then lo and behold, Cleveland takes Sanders, Tennessee takes Ward.
Hold on. What I'm hearing right now is Philadelphia's out and Chicago's running up the price.
Yeah. That's such a famous, so if that were to happen, can you imagine if that happens, right? His whole big thing is, well, we're going to take Sanders at 3. He's going to be there. And then Cleveland goes, no, we were just putting out false information. We're taking Shador. If he's sitting there at 3, I could see a place where he's sitting there panicked and he looks at Dable and he's like, well, what do you think about the dart? I know we didn't talk about him much, but what do you think about the dart? And Dable probably sitting there going, I got DeVito and I got Winston. Oh my God, I'm gonna get fired. So I hate to say it. I think there is a crazy scenario where we could take Dart at 3, especially when you hear all this like Dart is rising up the charts and he's now the second or third best quarter. It's like a guy who beat Furman is the second best quarterback in this draft.
Hey, don't you dare knock the top liberal arts school in the South.
Let me tell you something. I've researched that school and I've like looked at the campus on. I'm telling you right now, I'm sitting here going, he beat these guys.
They have a football team.
You know what that's like? That's like the Seaman 300 where Leonidas is sitting there and the guy from Athens is like, I thought you were bringing your whole army. And he's looking at them. He's like, you brought potters and sculptors and painters. I have more men than you. Come on, man. Come on, man.
This is like, this is like Paul Blake and the Fighting Armadillos. You know, Furman plays both ways.
You have to bring Sinbad out to help bolster the line.
If the Giants take Jackson Dart at 3,
oh my God,
is that a bigger shock than Jones at 6?
Ooh, I like that. That's a good question.
I put that out there so other content creators can steal it and have some content besides just saying Jackson, just saying that Jameis Winston's gonna throw for 10,000 yards and lead the Giants to the Super Bowl. I just thought throw out.
Well, listen, somebody's definitely gonna steal your skits idea. Somebody's gonna start doing skits now because you brought up the whole we're gonna do the skit thing. So just be prepared for that. But
I will go. There is, and I was just thinking about this now because now you got me thinking about it. There is an Aero Museum, like maybe 15, 20 minutes from here.
Oh, that's not far.
They have all the old planes, and
we should go.
It's an old airfield.
We should go.
I guarantee they would let me shoot at least one scene on that airfield.
We should do it.
Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it because I want to be.
Okay. But to your other point, which that's actually a really damn good question because
which is more, and I'm gonna put this in the chat because this way the people need to start hitting the like button and stuff like that because we got 200 and something people watching right now. We got more people on that other platform watching. What would be more of a shock, people in the chat? Jackson Dart at 3 or Daniel Jones at 6? Not knowing what you know about Daniel Jones, not knowing what he did for his career here with the Giants, which one would be more of a shock? James, go for it.
I still have to say the Daniel Jones because I didn't hear anything about Daniel Jones until the day of the draft. Just like you, I think it was Colin Coward. That morning I was up, I was drinking early, I had off from work, and I remember I was like, Daniel Jones from Duke. The only thing I could say for the Dart thing is his hype train started early. Like his hype train's been going on for like weeks now. And while, again, Duke is not known for quarterbacks, and half of our fan base loves to bring up the fact that, well, Eli Manning played at Ole Miss. There's a connection. We love to make connections, And just like I guess we signed Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston famously asked Saquon Barkley, hey, where should I go in free agency? And Saquon said, go to the Giants.
Do you think when he told him to go to the Giants, he was being facetious, or was he just actually telling him to go to the Giants?
I think that he was sitting there going, well, that would be hilarious if he goes there. Now I could really laugh at my old team, I literally think he did the same thing the Mannings did when they told Gettleman and them, like, oh, yeah, Daniel Jones, he's good. He's good. You should take him. Because I'm just going to die on my sword feeling that the Mannings told the Giants they like Daniel Jones because they're like, oh, you treated my brother like crap. Take this kid. See how you like him. It's like, ain't no sweat off our back. I don't care. But yeah,
Do you want to laugh?
of course.
Okay. Josh Allen, the linebacker, TJ Hawkinson, Ed Oliver. You could have Christian Wilkinson, Brian Burns. Of course, we did get Dexter Lawrence, Garrett Bradbury. You have people don't know this name, but he's a really good safety, and Darrell Savage Jr. People forgot about Hollywood Brown was in this draft as well after Daniel Jones. Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abrams, Byron Murphy Jr. These are just some of the guys you could have had instead of Daniel Jones.
It's embarrassing. Like our last few drafts, if you would have just changed a couple picks, like not every pick, but just one or two, and it would really change where we are. Mainly the Daniel Jones thing. Like if you just that one, it's amazing how one thing years ago can still affect
leads to another. And the reason why I was kind of getting to that is, to your point, if you just change a few things here and there, if you make the right moves, if you draft the right players, if you sit there and say, well, some people think I'm a genius, but how can you really screw up 5 and 7? If you don't screw up 5 and 7, if you draft more consciously in regards to building a roster, instead of taking Evan Neal, when people keep forgetting, you could have had, Drake London, Charles Cross, Garrett Wilson. I mean, you could have Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton. You literally could have been, you literally could have built something with this team. If you don't whiff on these foundational pieces, we're not here where we are right now.
It's amazing that even some of the players you just mentioned, and again, we as fans, people sit here. I love how people sit here and they go, well, they're doing their job and they're trying their hardest. It's like when you go to work, when we're all out here and we go to our jobs and we're working, do we see everybody at our jobs trying the hardest? No. So what makes you think these people in these high profile jobs that everybody is trying their hardest or doing their due diligence? They're humans just like us. They're not aliens. Just because they get these big salaries and they're on TV, they go to the bathroom just like us. They're regular people. And when you have things exposed like a Hard Knocks and you get a little peek behind the curtain, sometimes a peek behind the curtain is not always good. No. I'm at the point in life where I'm like, you know what? Don't show me behind the curtain. Yeah. Ignorance sometimes is bliss. Like, hey, the wizard has magic and he's puffing the smoke and all this is going on. Okay. Once I see that there's a guy back there pulling the left, it's like, damn it. Now I have to use my brain. So I say all that to say we all got a good look at Shane and the brain trust. And the trust behind the brain is smarter than the brain. So everybody in the room is smarter than Shane.
I always ask the same question, and I've never asked you this question before, but have you ever worked with anyone that's just not good at their job?
Oh my God, yes.
So everyone has had these people that have come in with all this pomp and circumstance, and they come in and they're going to be so wonderful and they're going to do all this, and then they just aren't good at their job. Maybe Joe Shane and Brian Dable just aren't good at their jobs. It's not a fault to them, but maybe just out of life, they're not good at what they do. Maybe they were better in Buffalo, even though Dable left and Josh Allen won an MVP. But maybe they're better supporting people, supporting cast, than they are frontline talent or talent evaluators.
I say it like this: it's everybody can't be Luke Skywalker. It's okay to be Wedge. And if you know Star Wars, you know who I'm talking about.
Well, Wedge was one of the best character in every single film, every single Star Wars film.
Right, he's there in every single film. He's like, other than Luke, he's the best fighter pilot, and he does his job, and he's there. He's there behind Lando. destroying up the second Star Destroyer. Like, it's okay to be number 2.
It's okay to
Everybody,
be
it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like when I worked in the school with the girls, I would tell them, like, listen, you're beautiful just how you are. Don't fall for this, that you have to be this other thing. Like, listen, I'm never going to be Denzel Washington. I'm never going to be Burt Reynolds. I'm never going to be Michael. I'm never going to be these guys.
Well, you have more of a chance to be Denzel than you do Burt Reynolds.
Well, actually, I got something funny to tell you when we get off camera.
Burt Reynolds is dead.
Well, no. But
you were going another way, you freaking racist. What the hell were you going with? I was going with Burt Reynolds is dead.
Listen, there's something I want. All right, I'm just gonna say this real quick because we talk about movies. We all respect and love Burt Reynolds, right? Unfortunately, there's a movie called Navajo Joe, and I just found this. And I love westerns from my grandfather. So I'm telling you, the algorithm is crazy. How stuff just pops up. And there's a movie called Navajo Joe, and I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna be laughing and screaming for the other room soon. But in Navajo Joe, Burt Reynolds is playing an Indian whose tribe was killed, and he has to go on the warpath for revenge. And that's all I'm going to say. Just Navajo Joe, Burt Reynolds. It's amazing. It's racist, but it is amazing.
First of all, the guy that directed Navajo Joe is that Sergio whatever. He did all the Clint Eastwood movies.
You're right. Yeah.
He did all the spaghetti westerns, and Navajo Joe was in. See, I don't think it was racist because it was like 1966.
Yeah, that's when racism was legal.
It was racist. Well, you weren't allowed in certain things to have.
Yes.
Like if you go watch some of the John Wayne movies and all the Indians.
Oh, he played Genghis Khan.
All the Indians are white.
Yes.
Because you weren't allowed to hire some minorities. So, but Navajo Joe is actually no. You know, I want to get back to the Giants, but I was thinking about movie racism. Return of the Jedi, the last one,
right.
The original one. Lando is in the Falcon, and he's got that little guy in the red suit sitting next to him. That's talking.
It's the Puerto Rican.
No, he's speaking like Swahili.
Oh, right, yeah, no, the technical it is Swahili, yes,
he's
African
dialect. Is that racist because he's talking that to Lando Calrissian and Lando knows exactly what he's saying?
You know what? No, because in a weird way, if you're going to use the African dialect, you might as well have the one black person in the entire fleet sitting next to him. I think it would be kind of weird if you had Han sitting there going, well, what the heck did you make that decision for? Come on, sundown.
But the question is, why are you assuming that Lando Calrissian's African?
Well, he's space African. It's like space racism works. It works different. He's space African American. It's different. He's space black. You know, it's just parameters are different, man. All right, it's just he just is. Look at him. He's back there behind you. He's like, you talking about me?
Back there. I got a lot of Landos. I got Colt 45 Lando. I got all the Landos. It was shit. But
oh my god.
Fact, oh my god, I learned so much on the last hour of the show that Lando Calrissian is space African.
Works differently.
It works different. It works differently because I don't even know. Okay, Gino. Who else did you want besides Justin Fields, who was going to the Jets? Justin Fields went to the Jets because the Giants never reached out to him.
Some of these comments today, I can't.
I love Gino. I love Gino, but it's like we never reached out to him, so
we didn't even try.
We didn't even try to get Justin Fields. We said Joe Shane sat there and said, "You know what we could do? We could try to get Justin Fields, or we could wait till like day 7 or 8 of free agency and sign Jameis Winston." I liked the Marcus Mariota idea. I liked going out and as a bridge for like 6 games. I'm not against the Russell Wilson thing, but I'm against giving Russell Wilson. He's not going to take $1.5 million to come here. Russell Wilson's $20 million guaranteed. This year, probably 10 next year.
Yeah, That wouldn't make sense. So you're gonna sign Jameis for the 8, and then you're gonna tack on another 25, 30 with Russ. Like that wouldn't make sense. And neither one is the quarterback of the future. Like, that's Shane math right there.
That's Shane math, and everyone loves sundown. Everyone. Greg loves Greg. Oh, Greg. For those that do not know, because everyone tells me that Adebo is healthy, because of the fact that he can do a backflip. So Greg, in his advanced age, we were in the stream the other day, told me that he can do a backflip. So I told him to go outside and do a backflip. And when he does that, send it to me, and I'm going to put up the green screen, and I'm just going to play that the entire stream. I'm going to put it on a loop, just Greg doing a backflip over again. Douglas says, hey, Tim, finally the ball is going to be thrown downfield to other teams. But we will finally see it happen for the first time in 6 years. Logic Finance also says, I'm not leaving my wingman. David says, Tim and James, how many seconds can you run the 100-yard dash in your prime? Well, I'm still in my prime.
I mean, listen, I was a pretty damn good athlete, just like Tim. Like, don't let the Pac-Man shirt fool you.
Oh, I was slow as shit.
Oh, well.
Why do you think they put me in the middle of the field?
Oh, it's like, listen, I was like Davey, happy birthday again, brother. The happy birthday.
Yeah, happy 51st birthday out to Dave. I've said it before. There was a reason that I played safety and linebacker and basically stayed in the middle of the field, because I go sideline to sidelines, but just don't ask me to run straight. I always say if people have straight line speed, I was not one of those people. I wasn't sundial, I wasn't sundial time and speed. But back in the late 80s, early 90s, you didn't have to run.
Speaking of speed, what do you think about Milroe's draft stock? Since he ran a fast time, the 4, whatever he ran, and the fact that people after watching him are seeing, like, obviously he's not a day one starter. No. You need some time, obviously. But do you think his draft stock has risen?
Jalen Milroe's stock since his last game in college has gone up exponentially. And I've said that, and I did a short stream on Friday, I think it was, for like an hour. You watched what he did at the combine. You could see that he has improved his footwork. You can see that he's improved his throwing mechanics. And of course, it's against no rush. He has the arm strength. He has the speed. He has the physical attributes to be an NFL quarterback. But like I said, Joe Milton a year ago, that doesn't mean you're an NFL quarterback. It just means you have the physical attributes to make all the throws on Sunday. I use that because Mr. Authentic doesn't understand what that means.
Yes, you guys love debating that.
He was like, well, that means you think he can make all the throws on Sunday. No, dummy. That means he has the arm strength to make NFL caliber throws. It doesn't mean he will put the ball where it's supposed to be. It just means he has the arm strength.
He has the ability, capability. Yeah.
He has the capability. It doesn't mean he has the ability. It means he has the capability. But if you watched him throw the outs, if you watched him throw the go routes, if you watched him do everything that he did at the combine, I thought his stock went up there. And you can tell that he is unlike Jameis Winston, who doesn't work on anything. You can continuously see that he is applying his craft. So when his pro day came around, we all knew he was going to run fast. But I posted the video for someone that was at the pro day on the sidelines. I posted their video, and you could see once again he's got the arm strength. He's improved on his accuracy. His mechanics are better. His footwork is better. Does that mean anything when the game is on the line and he is getting the rush? No, because that's usually when the tendency of all that shit breaks down. But if you use what they refer to as muscle memory repetition, your hope is that you do something over and over again for an extended period of time. The muscle memory will take over, and you will do that even under duress. So watching him at the combine and his pro day, I didn't care about his 40 time because you already knew he was fast. But if you watched him throw at the combine, it was probably one of the most impressive combines I've seen in the last 5 years. He did throw some balls high in the back of the end zone, but you're not going to have every throw. It's a scripted ballet. Your pro
scripted ballet.
You are literally working towards your pro day for like a month, if not longer. And you have 60, 70, 80, depending on how many throws. And you go over the script. You go over it repeatedly. And like I said, it's a choreographed ballet to make you look good. And he did everything he needed to do to at least move up into the second round. I would take in the second, if Jalen Milroe was there in the first half of the second round, I would take Jalen Milroe because he's shown enough. Jackson
think,
Dart.
yeah.
I've said this about Jackson Dart. Go back and watch the Florida game. There was at least 7, 8 opportunities he had to bring his team back and bring his team to victory, and he blew all 7, 8 opportunities. And I've said this on the stream before, James. Go Google or go to YouTube and just put in, javelin thrower. And watch somebody throw a javelin. Literally, just watch someone throw the javelin, and then go back and type in Jackson Dart go route, and watch how Jackson Dart throws his deep ball not under duress. It looks like he's trying not to. He's torquing himself up so much and moving so much forward. It almost looks like he's like a javelin thrower. He looks like he's not trying to go over the line to make the throw, and he's still. Even Kurt Warner says he still throws the ball flat. But somehow, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Listen, Dak, don't be. I'm telling you, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not putting that into the air. But there is a possibility. There's a possibility of that guy being in this quarterback room with DeVito and Winston. And I will say that would probably be the craziest quarterback room I've seen in my lifetime.
And I want to say hello to Hirsch for real, but this is the craziest quarterback room I just thought of from Danny here. Sign Flacco for the mentor part as a couple of games as well. So we would have Jackson Dart, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito in the quarterback.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? It's like the short bus of quarterbacks.
That is the short bus of quarterbacks. Flacco can mentor Jameis. Flacco can mentor Jameis. Jameis had Drew Brees for a year.
I was gonna say Drew, come on, with Peyton. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. Hirsch says it's a rebuilding year. Anyway, look at the schedule. It is a rebuilding year, Hirsch, but how long do we continuously rebuild, James?
I don't know. We've been doing it for a while, Tim. We're getting good at this rebuilding thing.
But that's the thing, I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of her. How long do we keep rebuilding? Should we, just for fun, because it's always fun, let's go back to 2012. Okay. Let's just take a look. Now we missed out on the playoffs in 2012. 9-7, 7-9, 6-10, 6-10, 5-11, 3-13, 5-12, 4-12, 6-10, 4-13, 9-7, 6-11, 3-14.
God damn.
Has it gotten fun yet?
Damn.
I mean, that is how many years of rebuilding?
I just find it funny that people they leave these comments like, well, you just sound like you're salty, or you don't sound like a real fan. It's like, when did we get to this point where rooting for losers is okay?
Well, when you're a Giant fan.
But that's not the American way. That's not the way we do things here. That's not, especially not here in New York. No offense to, but we don't root for losers. We're not supposed to prop up losers here.
Here's a good thing what Gino just said. I imagine Jameis had a better interview than Russell Wilson, lol. And I'm talking about interviews. I'm thinking about this. Imagine Jameis Winston's interviews after a brutal loss against Philadelphia when he throws 4 picks. Are we going to sit there when he talks about that he's praying to the almighty God of the interception or whatever he said that after that loss in Cleveland?
Yeah,
Could you imagine him saying shit like that in New York? Now the content creators will be like, well, out of the 5 interceptions, only 2 of them were James's fault. But normal people would be like, I want my quarterback to be upset that he's not praying to the interception God, that he is upset that he is stupid, that he threw 5 interceptions and he's 32 years old and he's making the same mistakes that he made when he first came into the league.
Well, let me put it to you like this. How many times in 6 years after a bad Daniel Jones game did we see Daniel Jones go up there and say, hey, that game's on me. I need to be better. I let the guys down today.
It's sad a lot.
Man, You know what I equivalent him to? I was telling Greg, he's like a crooked pastor in Brooklyn. You know, he comes out, he's got the fancy suit on, he's got the glasses, he looks the part. Again, capability, like you said, like this, he looks the part.
So he's the he's the pastor from Coming to America.
Yes, you need to use that soundbite for him. I went, there's a God somewhere. There's an interception. And if you don't get that, you're a loser.
Go watch.
If you've never seen that movie.
If you've never seen Coming to America, go watch the movie.
But that's a perfect soundbite. He's a pastor from Coming to America. He's, you know what? Because he's supposed to give hope and inspire, and he talks a good game. But then when you listen to what he's saying, you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
and
where are you getting this from?
How long will that play in the New York media?
Oh, they're going to eat it up. The New York media, they can't wait for the podium. They're going to be like, the people are going to be sitting there going, oh my God, did you see that interception? Did you see what he did? I can't wait to. They're going to be fumbling all over their phones to record him. Like they're going to lap it up.
One of the biggest issues Pat Shurmur had when he was here, besides not being able to coach, was the fact that he couldn't handle the media. When Pat Shurmur won, he was the smartest guy in the room. When Pat Shurmur lost, everyone was fucking stupid but him. And that lasted, that got old quick. Now, I can't imagine, let's just say that on paper, you look at the Giant defense, and if Shane Bowen somehow figures out that he's got a bunch of press cover corners and stop playing the fucking zone and does what he's supposed to do, and somehow the defense turns around to be something top 15, let's say. I'm not saying top 10, not top 5. Let's say they're top 15, and they keep the Giants in games, and Jameis Winston keeps throwing the ball the other way. How is that going to, I mean, literally, how is that going to play out?
I would actually be curious to see, because again, we just came through 6 years of a guy where we basically had that same scenario majority of the time. The defense would keep us in the game, and then they would start to fall apart in the fourth because the offense wasn't doing anything. That game, the most infamous, this comes to my mind all the time. This past year, Cincinnati Bengals, it was 10-9. I think at the beginning of the fourth quarter, 10-9. And they had one of the worst defenses in the league. And we could only put up 9 points at home. And then I think Joe Burrow threw a late touchdown, made it 17-9, whatever. And then by then, the game's out of reach. It's 17-9. You know, so it's like
the game's out
of reach now. It's 17-9. Holy crap. But
the game is out of reach. I like that.
You know, but with Jameis, the difference is going to be, well, number one, he's black. I'm just good. So he's not going to get the pass that Jones did. Just throw that out there. And number two, the way he's going, like you said, the way he's going to go about losing the game is going to, like, we may even be winning some games. And then he's going to come out
and do the Jameis Winston thing.
Throw it away. But that's what he does. That's his MO now.
People forget that, and we've talked about this a million times before. People forget in 2019, Jameis Winston's last game in Tampa. Tampa had a chance to become 8-8. Bruce Arians, the head coach. Jameis Winston threw them into so many bad situations because he threw for 30 interceptions. They had an opportunity to beat the Saints. They're in overtime. And what does Jameis Winston do? Does it come up like 7-up? No. He throws the ball for a pick six against the Saints and goes 7-9. Trivia question. What Giant quarterback did Jameis Winston lose to his last season in Tampa?
Eli? No.
Last season in Tampa, 2019, he lost.
2019.
He lost.
He lost to Jones?
Yeah.
Was that was the infamous Jones game where he looked so good?
September 27, 2019.
Wow. That was the start of, so him beating Jameis Winston was the start of the Jones hype train.
Wow.
Isn't that symmetry? That's symmetry for you, kids.
How crazy is that? You know, it's still funny. People forget about that game. Daniel Jones fumbled twice in that game and was sacked 5 times. Just bring that up. Just bring. It comes full circle.
You know what's crazy? Jameis Winston and Daniel Jones are on rosters right now, but Russell Wilson isn't.
Because Russell Wilson wants money. Russell Wilson's like, I either want to go to a team where I can make, where I can make the playoffs, or I want to get paid because I want to get out of the house because Ciara is bugging the shit out of me.
I don't understand. I don't know what he's like. I think Ciara's like, no, go play, go to work. I'm having fun here in this mansion by myself with the kid.
Go to work.
Go to work.
I called Mello, and Mello said what happened with Lala was Carmelo got hurt and didn't go to work. And they got divorced. Just throwing that out there.
No, Mello was doing too many extracurricular activities like an idiot.
Let's see here. I miss Taco Bell's slogan, run to the border.
Oh, that's right. They don't even use that anymore, Hirsch. Oh, you're right. Oh, they don't even ding, run for the border.
And then what they should do God. They should have the ICE agents chasing them.
Oh my God.
Taco Bell.
Forgot of this stuff you're doing. Oh my God.
Supreme. Andale, arriba. Let's go.
Oh my God. I forgot about that, Hirsch. It was run for the border.
Wasn't it? Does everyone also forget the bouncing chihuahua in the car in the Taco Bell commercials?
Oh, the little dog. Yeah, the little Taco Bell.
Yeah, they used to have it on the dashboard in the one commercial. Yo quiero Taco Bell. They had the guy. they had the little dog. With the
my God
in the back of the car.
Oh my God, yo!
As they were running for the border. With the Giants' schedule next year, the win total is generous at best, no matter who the quarterback is. That's true. No chance for Dart at 3. Oh, no, man. Jackson Dart is a second rounder. I would take Abdul Carter. I don't even see Jackson Dart. I see a new side of you, Tim. What side is that?
I was gonna say, what side is that?
What side is that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I don't know. LeVar's here. Casanova says, I expect them to take him within the first 2 weeks. I welcome Dart. Been considered a second-round guy since the beginning of, Jackson Dart hasn't been considered. Jackson Dart was not considered a second-round guy. Jackson Dart, if he would have came out last year, maybe a 7th-rounder. Maybe. Cam Ward, who is probably the first pick this year, knew if he came out the previous season, which he was considering, he may have been a 2nd, 3rd round pick.
Right.
So he looked at the quarterback landscape and said, if I go to Miami and improve myself, I'm a 1st round guy. This draft is so devoid of quarterback talent out of the top 2. This is the Kenny Pickett draft.
What does it say about us that in a quarterback draft last year, you had a chance to take one of the 2 kids who played in the national championship? You could have got either one of those guys. You didn't do that, but now part of this fan base is actually okay with taking a kid who beat Furman. I'm sorry, I just have to keep saying that. The kid who beat Furman, because it's amazing that.
Why do you keep knocking the mighty Furman?
Because I like to, it's just like, it's like sports. It's like back in school and fights or anything competition wise. I want to know, who did you play against? Who did you go against and how did you look? Even if you lost, how did you look?
I know where you're going.
How did you look against them? Like, how did you, it's like, I fought Mike Tyson. He knocked me out. Mike Tyson knocks everybody out. Did you at least last longer than 30 seconds? Did you give him a couple rounds? Did you throw some? Were you not scared? Did you not look timid? How did you look in it? And when you look at Jackson Dart, as you always say, he got like 20 of his touchdowns in 5 games. 5 games.
19 touchdowns in 5 games. 10 in the last 10 and 8.
And one of those games was against Duke. Yeah, again, symmetry, weird.
And Northern Georgia, Furman, and I can't remember the other one.
It's embarrassing.
All right, we talk about quarterbacks that I think we can all agree that the consensus is in this draft, James, there's only 2 top 1st round quarterbacks.
Yes.
And Joe Shane, in his infinite wisdom, because he told Ryan Poles, love Hard Knocks, that well, at least you don't have to sit there and do research on a quarterback because you're going to take one first overall. Yeah, well, the problem is you could do all the research in the world, but if you don't fucking sign one, it's kind of a moot point. First overall pick, Caleb Williams. Second pick, Jaden Daniels. Third pick, Drake May. Michael Penix. 10th pick, J.J. McCarthy. 12th pick, Bo Nix. Spencer Rattler went 150. Travis Jordan went 171. Joe Milton went 193. Devin Leary went 218. Michael Pratt went 245. And those teams are Green Bay, Baltimore, New England, Jets, the Saints, the Broncos, Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Falcons, New England Patriots, and Washington Commanders, and of course the Chicago Bears. I don't see the Giants on that list.
Look at even the Travis Jordan pick. Now that kid is hurt. We don't know what he's going to be, right? But God forbid if while Fields is there, Travis Jordan develops. My God, thinking about the future, like, yeah, we have Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to take this kid ahead of a guy like Joe Milton, who's actually healthy. And again, they had Drake May, still took Joe Milton. They took Michael Penix after the Falcons took Penix after signing Cousins. So you could take multiple quarterbacks, God forbid. But even a guy who's not going to play in Travis Jordan, the Jets had some force.
We lost audio.
You lost me?
What happened? Oh, hold on, wait. There you go. Can you hear me, James?
Can you hear me?
We lost it. We lost audio on James.
Hold on. Let me come back. Hold on.
Talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. Well, we lost audio on James. We were talking about all that. Let's see here. Who knew Burt was a member of the tribe? Well, he was also with the Florida State. Burt Reynolds did. People forgot about that. Tim, Brian Dable's going to need a lot of iPads to throw at Jameis Winston. Gino says, I laugh. I wanted Fields. I liked Mariota too. I think we could win with Russell, but save me money much more. Should get them next year. Probably wouldn't have been it would have been a good idea. Great Big Greg says, I would take Mixon over Dart any day, just not in the first round. Audio was fine. That's weird because James bounced out. So I don't know what happened here. Eli Manning threw, let's see here. Eli Manning threw 27. Yeah, he did throw, and 3 of those came to Ruben Randall. So there's a lot more that went to Ruben Randall because we talked about that. And that was the Chicago Bear Thursday night game where he threw 3 first half interceptions were all on timing routes that Ruben Randall went the wrong way. You want to go over Eli Manning early? I don't really have time to do that, but Eli Manning was made into a gunslinger when he should not have been by Kevin Gilbride. And he actually, Kevin Gilbride tried to force him to throw the ball down the field to Amani Toomer, but we can get it. Audio is fine here. Yeah, the audio is fine, but James bounced out. Exactly not taking a QB last season. Crazy. Penix was right there. It was all crazy, but it's 11:58. We're gonna check out. We got. I want to thank we got some, let's see here. Make sure you hit the like button. We only got 51 likes over on the Twitter sphere. We're gonna check out and bug out right now because I got stuff to do. I'm Slider. Oh, Strider came in. No, we actually talked about you being Strider. But we don't want to forget about that. I want to thank all the people that have been watching on the other platforms outside of the YouTube sphere. We got a really good crowd on that place, the other platform. I don't want to say its name. And we're going to run out right now, guys, because it is time. We'll have a video on Monday talking about the Jameis Winston. And as always, this is Tim New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. If you're an OG member, you can watch the rebroadcast on Twitter and on Formats a podcast, which will come out today. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. That'd be awesome.